So here's what I do with my kids when it's summer break and all they want to do is watch TV, right? Like that's the only thing. You say, hey, what do you want to do today? And they're like, watch TV, play video games, right? And it's not that there's anything wrong with that. We love TV in this house. We love some video games in this house. I love to play video games. That's not the issue. The issue is that one, they can't play all day. It's not good for them. They get grumpy. Every once in a while, sure, absolutely. But all summer, no, right? And so I've noticed from my own experience, whenever I have video games and TV off, I get a lot of pushback. And it's the constant, well, when do I get to play? Well, when can I play? Well, what can I do? Well, when can I play? And there's a lot of, I don't know what to do. I'm bored. I don't like this, right? I get a lot of pushback when the TV and video games are off over the summer. And so to combat this, to really kind of push my kids a little out of their comfort zone and to get them outside and playing and being creative and doing other things, we rely a lot on our routine. And so I love our summer routine because it's fantastic. It's different time blocks, right? But it's not just the routine, it's also just getting the kids in the habit of being bored, right? And learning how to entertain themselves. And that can feel really uncomfortable as a parent because I don't know about you, but I feel like this pressure to really entertain my kids 24/7. Like if they're coming to me and saying, I'm bored, I'm like, well, what about this? Well, what about that? And there's just this pressure, especially today, like you see all the awesome, and don't get me wrong, it's awesome and we do things like this too, but you see all the videos of parents, they're like, okay, I've scheduled out our whole day and they have all these amazing activities and crafts planned. That's fantastic. And we definitely have days like that too, but that can't be my everyday for the summer. I can't step in and constantly be the source of my kids' entertainment. Like I really feel as a parent, they need to be finding ways to entertaining themselves, and it's okay for them to be bored, but it's also really hard to deal with the pushback. And so the first thing that I do when I'm getting the pushback is I'm making sure that I'm good myself, because I don't know, maybe it's because it's hotter or because I'm with the kids longer, but I notice I get annoyed quicker when the kids are home all summer, and so I gotta check in with myself. One, have I eaten? Have I had water? Have I taken time for myself today? Have I had any space to myself? And I know that seems like such a crazy thing to think about because you're like, but it's about the kids. No, because it's about us too, right? So the first thing when I'm noticing my annoyance level rise with the kids going, I'm bored, I want to watch TV, is have I taken space for myself? Have I done something for myself? Have I, had space for myself? So that's the first thing I do. The second thing I do is we have a really great routine chart, and this routine chart is designed to really have the kids be more involved without me having to be on top of them for everything. So there's one that is just images for kids who can't read, and there's one that has a bunch of ideas for kids who can. And the whole point is, hey, you have your list, you have your routine, you can go from that list. It's a launch pad of ideas, right? Have you done 2 hours of crafts? And crafts can be whatever that feels like for you. Scribbling on a paper, throwing, paint at a canvas, using ice coloring. And you can always sit down as a family at the beginning of summer and come up with a whole list of ideas, right? Okay, what are all the ideas we have for craft time? Let's look online, let's look on Pinterest, let's look for all these great ideas. What are all our ideas for quiet time, etc. And so when the kids say, I don't have anything to do, you can say, oh, remember that list we made together? And they can say, well, I don't want to do any of it. And you're like, okay, then don't, go be bored. That's okay too. I tell my kids that a lot. They don't love that. Okay, it's okay to be bored. It's a good thing to be bored. And so we've done but we do a lot of, at the beginning of the year, or beginning of the summer, a lot of things together where we're brainstorming together. I want them to be involved in this process. I don't want it to be me coming up with a list of 100 ideas and then being like, no, they need to be involved in the research process. They need to be a part of this, right? And so getting them involved in this, hey, TV time is great, and I love that we have TV time, but over the summer, we need to make sure we have it balanced. And so I explain it to my kids basically okay, you know how when we have food, we don't just eat cookies all day, even though cookies are amazing and delicious. Our bodies don't always feel great after just having cookies for one day. Our tummies can kind of hurt, our teeth kind of hurt, our brains feel a little fuzzy. It's the same thing with technology. Technology is fun. It's so great to have. Yes, it's fantastic for relaxing. It should be part of our day. but it can't be the only part of our day. And so this summer, we're really gonna explore some more things. We're gonna explore crafts, and we're gonna explore playing outside, and like just really getting them involved and excited, honestly. And so that's a big part of it, is getting kids involved. Get them involved and let them take ownership for it. Don't try to sit there and come in with, okay, well, today you're gonna do this, and today you're gonna do that. Like, we sit down at the beginning every Sunday and say, okay, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, here's kind of what we have planned. We're gonna go to the pool on Wednesday, so Thursday's the day that mom needs to run errands, so I'm gonna need you guys to be extra patient. What can we do while we're running errands? That sounds fun. Oh, you wanna pick out a toy for outside? Sure, right? And so I'm getting them involved. We have family planning meetings where we're going over everything that's going on for the week. I'm getting their participation. And it's not always like 100% like, yay, this is the best thing ever, mom, thanks for, you know, like bringing me in on your planning meeting. It's sometimes some groaning and some like, oh, really? But it's part of, and I tell my kids, like, this is part of being in a home together, right? We're all working together. And part of that means planning out what's happening over the next week. Give or take. Sometimes things change, and that's okay. So it's 1, taking care of myself, 2, getting my kids involved in planning. Now, 3, when it comes down to the days where they're just so adamant about needing to be on TV, and there's a lot of tantrums, and there's a lot of meltdowns, and there's a lot of pushback, those are the days where the first thing I do is I connect with the kid, with whichever kid is really pushing back. So normally it's my little guy, and all he wants to do is play his video game. Totally get it. So if he's really like, no, I don't want to do anything, I'm gonna sit and we're gonna go to his room or wherever he wants, and we're gonna play something together, something physical, where we can build something, or we can play Jenga, you know, and I'm just gonna really, you know, get him laughing, and we're gonna have fun, and we're gonna connect together. And then I'd be like, hey bud, you know, what's going on? It seems like you really want to play video games, and mom said no, and that really makes you mad. So what's going on? What do you need? Do you need rest? Do you need creative time? Do you need to eat? You know, like, I'm gonna help him check in with his body. What does your body feel like it needs? Oh, it feels like it needs rest? Okay, do you wanna go, you know, lay in the hammock for a little bit and swing yourself, you know, like, and get him to start to check in with himself and figure out what he needs. Because I really wanna teach my kids to check in with themselves and figure out what they need. The same way I check in with myself and figure out what I need, right? If I'm getting frustrated and flustered, first thing I'm gonna say is, okay, Heather, what do you need? Do you need water? Do you need to lay down for 5 minutes? Do you need to call a friend? Do you need to scribble on some paper? And so I'm gonna give those same tools to my kids. Oh, you really wanna watch TV, and it does not feel good when mom says we can't. Okay, what do you really need right now? And no, it's not the TV. What's your body saying it needs? What does your body feel like it needs, right? And so it needs play, it needs to, you know, it needs to be mad right now. Okay, fantastic. And so I really wanna give my kids that languaging. So when they're pushing back, they are learning to check in with themselves and figure out what it is they need. Do they just need to talk for 5 minutes and just be connected with us? Yeah, maybe that's all it is. It's just 5 minutes of feeling connected, and then they feel free to go about their day. So those are the steps that I take whenever my kids are really pushing back really hard on only wanting to watch TV. And just really honestly pushing back on anything. Like, if they're really pushing back on not wanting to do chores, it's kind of a similar process of, okay, what is it that I feel? Have I taken care of myself? Okay. 2, have we talked about this as a family? Have I given them fair warning of what's happening and communicated with them? And 3, am I teaching them how to check in with their body? No, they don't want to do chores. Totally understand, but we all live here. We all sometimes have to do things we don't want to do. How can we make chores fun, right? So it's all these very simple steps. So that's what I do. If you have any questions, or if you want to sit and just talk through any of this with me, I am right now offering free 15-minute calls. We can hop on a call and you can just be like, hey, I'm struggling with this, and we could just go over it all together. If that's something you want, shoot me a message and I'll book one out for you. So that's it for today. Have a great rest of your summer. Oh my gosh. And here's to an awesome, super fun, super chill, really great summer with our kids.